Assistance for the disembodied. As we have responsibilities for the living, we have responsibilities for the dead. Why are after death rituals needed? Earlier, we already saw that when a person dies, the life energy does not leave the body all at once. For all practical purposes, one may be dead, but if you are a doctor who has seen enough deaths around you, or if you are an undertaker, you would know that death is a process that happens over a period of time and is not an event that occurs instantaneously. This is because during the process of disembodiment, the panchapranas do not exit all at once but recede in stages. It is like this: you were not just born one day, it took a little over 9 months before you could become a full life. Similarly, even one's exit does not happen just like that. Life exits the body in stages. Usually, a person who is dying can do with some help at this stage. Everyone dies, and at some point or the other in our life, we all will lose someone who is dear to us. So, we would definitely like to see that something nice happens to them. Suppose you are living in a rented house and your landlord asks you to vacate. You vacate, but in parts. You may take your furniture but leave your kitchen things. You may take your kitchen things but leave your bedding. Because you are still not done with the place, you want to keep coming back and stay connected to the house. When the landlord sees this, he will throw everything out. In a way, that is exactly what needs to be done with you. If it is a yogi who has done enough work on his or her 5 bayus, when they leave, they will gather everything and go. They do not want to linger with a dead creature. So when they vacate, they do it completely. This is a good way to live. But to live like this, one needs certain mastery over one's energies. If a person lives like this, there is no need to do any ritual because he has already exited completely. But if you do not know how to vacate, if you are too attached to the dwellings in which you have been and you try to vacate in installments, someone else can push you out a little bit. This process can be very effectively done within the first 3 to 5 days after the death. Up to 11 days, the possibility is still pretty good. Up to 14 days, it is possible, but after that, it becomes difficult. If the one who has died is very young or very vibrantly still alive after one left the body, then it is possible to do something up to 40 to 48 days. After that, our ability to access that disembodied being diminishes. When they are still confused and in a transitory state, they are more accessible. It is like when you have some real big problem confounding you in your life, then you come to me and plead, Sadhguru, please do something. Now you are easy to deal with at that time. But when you are doing a little well in comfort, no one can talk to you. These beings are also like that. In 14 days, they will settle in their new accommodation and it will be a little hard to convince them after that. Moreover, if you do certain things and dismantle the Vyanavayu, which is exiting the physical system, the subtle body will not get the Vyanavayu that it needs to preserve itself. So it will start crumbling. Even now, if we remove the Vyanavayu from your body, it will crumble. The body will start dismantling itself. When you take away the Vyanavayu or limit the amount of Vyanavayu which is getting into that system after death, the preservation quality goes away. Now it becomes desperate to seek a new body. So these rituals interfere with the process of Vyanavayu exiting the body and don't allow it to proceed further. Now it is almost like they have gone to a new place or a new country but they don't have an ID yet. So they cannot find accommodation, nor can they go anywhere. They will start crumbling. Death rituals are not just to assist the dead person in his or her journey, they are also for the benefit of those who are left behind. Because if this person who dies lives a lot of unsettled life around us, our lives will not be good. It is not that ghosts will come and catch you, but it will influence the atmosphere. It will influence those around psychologically. It will also influence the quality of life around. This is the reason every culture in the world has its own type of rituals for the dead. Generally, a lot of it is to settle certain psychological factors of the near and dear ones. In some way, they did have a certain relevance and science behind them too. But probably no other culture has such elaborate methods as the Indians do. No one has looked at death with the kind of understanding and depth that this culture has. Right from the moment that death occurs, or even before it occurs, there are whole systems to help a person die in the most beneficial way. Having looked at life from every possible angle, they want to extract the most out of everything towards liberation or mukti. If death is going to occur, they want to make use of even that to attain mukti in some way. So they created powerful rituals for the dying and for the dead. Today, these rituals have become even more important because almost everyone on the planet is beginning to die in unawareness without the necessary understanding of the life mechanism within themselves. In the olden days, most people died of infections and diseases, so people created a whole science to help them beyond their body. When they were in the body, maybe people around could not figure out what the ailment was, or the person did not get the necessary treatment, or something else happened and they died. So, at least after his or her death, they wanted to help them in such a way that they did not hang around for too long and dissolved quickly. This is how the whole science behind these rituals evolved. Unfortunately, today, it has mostly become a meaningless ritual being done without the needed understanding or expertise. When we do not take care of the dead properly, the adolescents, children in that society, will suffer immensely because of this. The first thing these disembodied beings go towards is adolescent life because that is the most easiest and the most vulnerable human life around. Adolescence is like a human version of molting, where growth is very rapid, not only physiologically but in every other way. Because of this, during this period, life is very susceptible to influence. If there is any positive or negative energy around, adolescents are the first people to absorb it. Among adolescents, girls are even more susceptible to these things than boys are. But pre-adolescent children up to 8 to 10 years of age are generally immune to these things. Nature has given them that protection, so you don't have to protect them much. It is mostly children between 10 to 20 years of age who can get affected. When I say affected, I am not referring to their hormonal stuff or them losing their way with drink and drugs. That can also happen, but there are other kinds of influence that they can come under. Today you can see how much upheaval children are going through just to face adolescence. In the previous generations, adolescence was never such a struggle. One reason for this is that we are not taking care of those who have departed in an appropriate manner. It is like loose software hanging around, and adolescent life naturally tangles with that. So, either because of conscious knowing or by instinct, people in every culture in some way try to create protective atmospheres for the adolescents. Many traditions always kept the places of their dead as sacred. and women and children were never allowed to enter those spaces. Whether it is the Mayans or the Native Americans or people of Latin America, women and children were not allowed in these places. In India, of course, there were elaborate guidelines for these places as to who could go and when and all that. This is not just for psychological reasons. This has an existential impact on the system, and those who are more vulnerable will get more affected by these things. So, in this culture, after the body was disposed of, there were elaborate processes to clean the person too. Unfortunately, over a period of time, people distorted and exaggerated things in such a way that these rituals have become largely commercial, with some kind of ritualistic circus being conducted. There are still a few who can do it well, but they have become very scarce. For some people, this is a potential for perpetual business, because whatever the state of the economy, people will continue to die. So, when there is such an opportunity, they just cannot let it go. Entrepreneurship comes alive, not even sparing the dead.